New Year's Eve wasn't all fun and excitement for Camela, the sweet pit bull terrier mix. Without realizing it right away, her owners, the family that had always cared for and loved her, decided to move to a new neighborhood. As they packed their belongings, they threw away trash and other things they didn't need. Sadly, just like the trash, they abandoned Camela and left her behind. That day, Camela had no idea her life was about to change completely. She watched and played as her owners packed their things, not realizing what was about to happen. As they loaded up their car, she didn't notice anything unusual. They weren't coming back for her. A new, uncertain life was already waiting for the innocent and loyal dog. Hours went by, and Camela, left with only a blanket to remind her of her owners, waited outside, unable to get into the locked apartment. She curled up by the roadside near the house, patiently waiting for her family to return. She had no reason to think they would leave her, but there were no signs of them coming back. Still, she held on to hope, staying close to the blanket that still had their faint scent, expecting them to return at any moment. Little did she know, she was now completely alone, abandoned without a second thought. As Camela waited for days, her owners never returned, but her loneliness didn't last long. Marina Tereshevska, co-founder of Dallas Dog RR and a devoted animal lover, happened to be walking around the neighborhood that day. She noticed Camela curled up in the blanket, looking sad and lost. Unaware of the dog's situation, Marina continued her walk, not realizing she had just passed by a life-changing moment. Suddenly, the weather shifted and rain began to pour down. Marina hurried to find shelter, shielding herself from the downpour. Once the rain subsided, she decided to head back home, retracing her steps along the same path. As Marina walked back, she stumbled upon a heartbreaking scene. There was Camela, still in the same spot, soaked from the rain and trembling with cold. Marina's heart sank at the sight of the poor dog, left defenseless against the harsh weather. Feeling compassionate, Marina couldn't ignore the dog's suffering. Even though she didn't notice the problem at first, her love for animals soon made her realize she needed to help. It didn't make sense that a dog with a family and a home would be left outside in the rain on a dirty blanket. What was going on? Why wasn't the dog seeking shelter? Marina asked the neighbors about the dog's situation, and their response shocked her. Camela had been abandoned by her family, left alone without shelter, food, or water. The blanket was the only thing she had left, a small reminder of the love she once knew. Marina felt a sad smile tug at her lips as she saw how loyal Camela was. Despite being treated like trash, the dog still waited faithfully for her owners to return, not knowing they were never coming back. It broke Marina's heart to see such devotion go unnoticed by the people who had abandoned her. At that moment, Marina made a promise she wouldn't let Camela suffer any longer. With determination, she decided to give the loyal dog the love and care she deserved. Marina knew it wouldn't be easy to gain Camela's trust. Camela's loyalty to her previous owners made it hard for her to trust someone new, especially after being abandoned. She still hoped her owners would return. Despite knowing how difficult it would be, Marina was determined to do everything she could to give the dog the love, care, and affection she needed. As Marina wiped away tears she hadn't even realized she was shedding, she steeled herself. She knew she had to do everything in her power to help this loyal dog. When Marina approached Camela to try and earn her trust, the dog would run away, scared of the stranger. It was clear that Camela was only used to her previous owners and was deeply afraid of strangers. Undeterred, Marina kept trying to win Camela over, offering her food since the dog must have been starving after days without eating. But Camela, loyal as ever, didn't take the bait. This made things even harder for Marina. She kept thinking of ways to gain Camela's trust, knowing that forcing her would only make things worse and deepen her emotional wounds. Even though being outside without food and shelter was already difficult, Marina was willing to do whatever it took to show Camela the love and care she deserved. So she decided to keep trying, hoping that, eventually, Camela would understand that Marina was there to help, not hurt her. An idea struck Marina as she observed a particular pattern in the dog's behavior. Whenever Camela ran away from Marina, sensing the presence of a stranger, she would eventually return to her blanket. It was literally her safety blanket. This observation sparked a plan in Marina's mind. Marina carefully moved the blanket closer to her apartment, inch by inch, and Camela followed, drawn by the familiar scent. After about an hour, Marina successfully led Camela into her home, providing a temporary shelter for the loyal dog. Inside, Camela remained sad, barely moving, avoiding eye contact, and clinging to her blanket. Even when Marina tried to comfort her, Camela flinched and kept her distance. Determined to help, Marina prepared a meal, but Camela wouldn't eat until Marina left the room. Despite this setback, Marina stayed by her side, offering silent support. While gently stroking Camela, Marina discovered a severe injury on her neck, which explained the dog's pain and fear. Realizing the seriousness of the wound, Marina knew immediate medical attention was needed. The next day, Marina took Camela to the vet where the veterinarians, shocked by her story, examined her injuries. They suspected Camela might have been in a fight while searching for food or that she had been tied up with a collar that embedded into her skin. The injuries were worse than expected, and surgery was necessary to save Camela's life. With a heavy heart but unwavering determination, Marina gave the vets the go-ahead to proceed with the surgery. Soon, Camela was under the care of skilled veterinarians who worked with precision and experience to remove the dead skin, any exterior materials embedded into her skin, and stop the progression of the infection. Marina stayed by Camela's side throughout, offering reassurance and hope. As the surgery progressed, Marina felt relief when Camela emerged from the operating room and began to recover. Days later, she was thrilled to hear that Camela was ready to leave the veterinary hospital. Bringing Camela home, Marina felt both happiness and anticipation. While Camela was slowly warming up, there was still a long journey ahead to heal her emotional scars. Marina, with renewed purpose, prepared for the days to come, determined to help Camela trust humans again and eventually find her a loving foster home. Marina soon took Camela to an animal shelter, hoping she would find happiness and a new owner. At first, Camela kept to herself, which concerned the staff. Seeing the potential in her, the shelter staff gave her special attention, involving her in social games, walks, and time with other dogs. Gradually, Camela began to adapt, wagging her tail during walks and warming up to the staff. Marina often visited, overjoyed to see Camela's progress and how she sought affection from her. Despite this progress, one challenge remained: finding Camela a permanent, loving home. Marina and the shelter staff were determined to find the perfect match. To speed up the process, Marina shared Camela's story on social media, including images and videos of the loyal dog abandoned on New Year's Day. Camela's story touched many hearts, sparking outrage over her mistreatment. Among the many responses, one person was especially moved and decided to take action. A few days later, as the staff at the shelter prepared to close for the day, they were taken aback by a surprising turn of events. A vehicle pulled into the garage, and a man rushed to the shelter, apologizing profusely for his late arrival due to traffic. The staff, shocked by the unexpected visitor, halted their plans to close up and attended to the man's needs. Marina happened to be present at the time. Marina's social media post about Camela deeply touched a man named Johnson, who felt compelled to meet her after reading her story. Johnson explained that he had recently lost his beloved pit bull terrier mix, Benny, who had been a great comfort to his 6-year-old son, Carl, during his recovery from an accident. Carl was heartbroken after Benny's passing, and Johnson hoped Camela could bring his son the same comfort. When Johnson showed Carl the post about Camela, the boy's eyes lit up with excitement. Seeing Camela reminded him of Benny, and he begged his father to adopt her. Moved by the deep bond between Benny and Carl, Marina knew Camela had found the perfect family. Johnson, with tears in his eyes, met Camela and felt an immediate connection. Camela, sensing his emotions, wagged her tail and nudged him for more affection. Johnson then introduced her to Carl, who was waiting in the car. As Carl and Camela met, a heartwarming scene unfolded. Camela showered Carl with love, and the boy's face lit up with joy. The two instantly bonded, becoming inseparable and bringing smiles and warmth to everyone who witnessed their connection. Johnson himself was overcome with emotion, seeing his son, who had been sad for days, light up with happiness and affection in the presence of Camela. With her by their side, they had found a new source of joy and companionship, bridging the gap left by their beloved Benny. Johnson was grateful to have found a companion for Carl and was eager to take Camela home, where she would be showered with love and affection. Through tears of joy, Marina helped Johnson complete the paperwork, and they watched as Camela left with her new family, filled with hope for her bright future. Marina and the staff felt fulfilled knowing they had helped Camela recover and find a loving home. 3 months later, Marina received an email from Johnson, Camela's new owner. She was relieved and overjoyed to learn that Camela and Carl had formed a strong bond, and thanks to Camela, Carl had recovered faster than expected and was now walking. Camela had become Carl's best friend, encouraging him to walk and play, leading to his remarkable progress. The email included heartwarming photos and videos of Carl and Camela together, showing how inseparable they had become. Camela patiently waited for Carl to return from school every day, knowing he would always come back. The bond between them brought immense joy to the Johnson family. After reading the email, Marina was overwhelmed with gratitude and pride for being part of Camela's incredible journey, from finding her abandoned on New Year's Eve to witnessing the profound impact she had on Carl's life. I hope you liked this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.